So welcome to DLD College London. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. This is the student webinar, Meet the Students of DLD College London and find out all about life at DLD College London from the students' point of view. My name is Rachel Hall, I'm the Marketing Manager at DLD. So this meeting is being recorded just for your information. So as we wait for more attendees to arrive, because we do have quite a few people signed up this evening, I just wanted to let you know that last month DLD won Independent School of the Year 2020 for Best Boarding School, which we're absolutely thrilled about. They felt that the school was brimming with energy, but not only that, we won the Special Judges Award. They were very impressed with the wide offering that DLD College has to offer its students. So hopefully this evening the students will be able to share some of that with you all. We do have our sixth form open evening next week, which is on Tuesday evening at the slightly earlier time of 6 o'clock. So if you'd like to sign up for that, then please do visit our website and sign up via the virtual open evening registration page that's on there. Alternatively, you can call the school and speak with Ben in admissions, and he'd be happy to answer any questions and to add you to the list, and then we can get you onto the Zoom for next Tuesday evening. That open evening is predominantly aimed at the sixth form entry point and is more subject focused. So we'll have the heads of the different faculties within the school, as well as some of the subject teachers, and they'll be able to answer any of your questions that you have specifically about the A-level and BTEC and International Foundation Programme courses. So, as I said, tonight is the Meet the Students webinar. So we have various representatives tonight from our Student Council. They have a very strong voice within the school, and you will learn all about that shortly. And they work to improve the life of the school for their fellow students. I'll go through them in turn. Sophia and Charlotte, who are our heads of school. And then we have Zara, Meha, Sophia and Sophie, who are sort of heads of different committees, and Benita, who's inclusion and diversity, and Shay, who's also one of our school prefects. So I'm now going to hand over to Sophie, our head of school, and she can do her presentation that she's going to kick off the evening with. Please do use the chat function and the Q&A function, and we'll answer all your questions later. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Sophie. Actually, I think Charlotte wanted to start first because I think she had something to say. Sorry, Rachel. Okay. But you'll come back to me later. I'll talk later, so I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, sorry, unfortunately I'm starting this evening off. So I'm Charlotte. I'm originally from Canada. Right now I'm boarding at DLD. I'm an Alpha Scholar and I'm also head girl. I joined DLD last year as a part of the one-year GCSE course, and I've since progressed to year 12. I'm studying politics, history, psychology, and business. Sorry. In the future, in the next year, I'd like to apply to Oxford, Harvard and Yale to study business management and a minor in international relations. I joined the student council in March, which was a very turbulent time for everybody, and as a 18-member student council, we've been a real core part of the community, and the community is everything that DLD is really about, considering we have such wide four corners of the world interaction with everybody. It's been really important that we've got the student voice out there. Sophia and I, along with every member of the Student Council, has worked really hard to bring a nice 2020 year to everybody, and we hope that the people this year are enjoying themselves. Benita this year is a person that started in September and has really got to grips with everything, and that's what we kind of aim to do as a Student Council. We do have different branches, but I'm going to let other people discuss these in depth later. I'll hand over to Sophie now for your presentation.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Sophie. I am 19 years of age. This is my second year at DLD, and I'm originally from Russia, from Siberia, but I have been brought up in Italy. Have been living there for the past 12 years, and then I moved to London last year. This is my second year, and this is also my second year at DLD. Again, just like Charlotte said, it's the school is absolutely great because of how diverse it is. That is always so emphasized in our school. It's really, really important, and because of how important this diversity is, this also elevates our voice, and we are but the mediators of the student voice. Everyone's voice is usually listened to, always heard, always, yeah. It's a great school. I can't even say anything else. I have a small presentation, just so I can kick off the whole presenting on the Student Council chain thing. So I'm just gonna share my screen right now. Okay. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Okay. So this is our little student council structure. As you can see, it's me and Charlotte, both of our heads, and then we have our senior prefects who are responsible for, we're divided in 4 groups, and are responsible for the academic well-being, charity and community, and events. And then we have the senior prefects who aid the senior prefects in their jobs. So I'm gonna pass on to everyone else in just a second. The role of the student council per se is, again, like I said, we are the mediators of the student voice. So we work with teachers and staff to improve DLD even further. We work with teachers in order to enhance the academic performance of the students, in order to check up on their well-being, and in order to organize events and charities. So as the heads of school, Charlotte and I are usually there to supervise the process. We are the mediators between the voices of the student council and our principal, Irfan, and our vice principal, Tom. And we just generally try and keep the student council happy and collected. Then tonight we'll have Sophie Barchetti talking about academics, we'll have Zara talking about well-being, we have Meher talking about charity and community, and we have our very first diversity and equality ambassador, Benita, who's going to talk about her role. And we have events. Unfortunately, Tudor couldn't make it today because he is applying to different universities abroad. So we have Sophia and Shay who are going to talk about events. And this is all for me. I will pass you now to, I will pass you to the others. And yeah, if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask.
Okay, Sarah, maybe. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me. Great. Well, very good. So my name is Zara. I am a senior prefect in charge of the Wellbeing group within the Student Council. And I am originally from Iran, and I came to the UK 3 years ago when I first actually joined DLD as well. So this is my first year as Student Council, but I've been here for a long time now. I am a year 13 student, and I am a medicine prospect. So I'm applying to universities to study medicine now. Within the Wellbeing team, our main objective now is to address concerns that the students have appropriately and maybe refer them to our counselor, who is Emily. We have a head of Wellbeing, Mark, and Matteo, who's our coaching. He does the coaching here in sessions that he talks to students about any concerns they might have. And so it's a really good support system here. And of course, there is us within the Student Council. There is me and other subheads. And our key priorities this year, because, well, of course, it's a very strange year this year. And there might be a lot of people who are concerned about how things are going to work out for them in terms of Corona. Some people aren't able to go back to their homes at Christmas, so it is our role here to communicate with them and try to talk them through this. And I think we've been very successful so far. And we've been able to, well, tell them we're here as well, and we can enjoy this Christmas as a group, as a community. And I think that's it from me for now. And it's an honor to speak to you today.
So hi, I'm Sophie. I'm head of the academic department. I'm from Italy, and I also moved here to London 2 years ago. So we as a academic department are especially here to help you and support you in terms of your academic belongings. Could be everything from help with your GCSEs, with your A-levels, with we also work with GCSE students to help them which A-level subjects they should choose. This year we put more emphasis on uni applications. We actually created a platform with the help of John to have more access to information also for unis abroad. So that's what we're really keen on working on. We're always here, and you can always approach us with anything in regards to your academics achievements, but also when it comes down to informations. We currently are working on the library. We want to expand the library. We want to get in some students' opinions on which books they would like to see in the library, because we feel there's a lack of student opinion in the library. But as also Sophie said and Charlotte said before, we're most importantly here to make that bridge between the students and the teachers, so that we can address any issues that comes from you guys. So that was it from the academics department. We'll pass it on to whoever is next.
Hi guys, my name is Meher and I'm the head of charity. So I'm in year 13 and I was born and brought up here in London, but originally I'm Indian. So I'm a day student and I've been at DLD since last year. So I'm studying drama, film studies and economics, and I'm planning on studying drama at university, hopefully in the USA. So as I said, I'm head of charity, and we've had a few key events this year. For example, we had our virtual 5K, which was very, very successful. We raised over £500 for the Evelina Children's Hospital, and we are right now in the middle of a charity event right now. So we are raising money for the Movember Foundation, which is a charity for men's health. And it's a very like fun kind of thing we're doing here. So we're getting people to row on a rowing machine, and we'll see who's the fastest, and they'll get the title for whoever the title for the fastest rower in DLD. So it's really fun over there. We are also kind of collaborating with the events team for their Christmas party, the Christmas Borders party, where we will be raising money through like these little games and stuff, and we will be sending the money off to a charity, hopefully, that we have not decided on yet, but we shall decide soon enough. So our key priorities for this year as the charity team is obviously raise money for the charities that we have been raising for quite a few years, that we have good relationships with, but also to bring the DLD community closer, and through the charity events that we hold, and just make everyone happier, and also bring in the student voice. So yeah, that's it from me.
Hello everyone, my name is Sophia and I'm a member of the events team. I'm from Iran and I'm currently in year 13. This is my second year at DLD and I'm a boarder. So our main goal as the events team is to enhance the overall school experience by organizing events such as Odd Socks Day, the prom, which is our main priority. And although it's difficult with the situation going on right now with the pandemic and everything, we're trying our best to organize little events such as in-house events and really get the students' opinions by making surveys and seeing what they'd like to have in the school and what activities they'd like to take part in. So for lockdown, we worked on a survey that represented all of the students' ideas, such as maybe game nights, karaoke nights, dance-offs, just to change the spirit in the boarding house and in the school environment as a whole. And yeah, I will pass it on to Shay now, who is also a member of the events team.
Yeah, hi, my name is Shay, and I'm currently in year 13 of my education, so finishing off my A-levels. I've only been in DLD I joined DLD last year, so I've had a relatively long experience. I'd say I've had a relatively good experience whilst joining. Following DLD, I'm hoping to look to doing international relations at university. And I've lived in this country my entire life, so as my personal background. As for my role on student council, I'm a prefect as another member of part of the events team, much like Sophia. And much of what I'm going to say is going to echo what she's already said, in the sense that it's more of we're coming together, we're creating events. It's been obviously very relatively more difficult this year following the coronavirus pandemic and the limiting of how many events you can realistically do in person. So we've been looking more to online events, transitioning to that, making that a bigger role and a bigger player in the general scheme of things for the time being. At the moment, I would say that's our committee's key priorities for the long run, is transitioning and getting used to the whole new concept of more of an online presence than an in-person presence. Like I say, Sophia really covered a lot of the topic, covered a lot of what the topic and honestly what the events team is really planning to do this year. So I think that's really all I have to say at the moment.
So last but not least, I think we have Benita.
Hi guys, my name's Benita and I'm an Alpha Scholar at DLD. I'm in year 12. I study maths, physics, economics, and I'll be studying further maths next year. I'm from here. I was born here and I've been brought up here, but I'm originally Nigerian. As for my role, I am inclusion and diversity and inclusion ambassador. So I'm here to create a safe space for BAME students to come to me about any worries or anything. I'm here to inspire and talk to anyone who has any problems, and for people to, and I'm the voice for the BAME students in the student council, so that they feel like they really have a voice in the school. As I said already, the school is really diverse, so it's not really a problem, but we do plan to make the school more of an inclusive place. So far, obviously last month was Black History Month, so we've done stuff for Black History Month. We have the posters on the doors that we put up for Black British heroes in every subject, in chemistry, physics, history, literature, etc. We also had someone come in to talk about Black British history in the UK, starting with the Windrush generation. So that's like the Bristol bus boycott and Notting Hill Carnival, etc. We are planning some new things for the future, maybe some culture days, etc. Something to really bring the inclusion into DLD and to show that we are really inclusive. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say so far. Yeah.
Brilliant, that's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. So I think that gives a great introduction to the Student Council, the structure of it, and the different strands of it, covering academic, wellbeing, charity and events, as well as inclusion and diversity, and what the aims are for the year and what the students are focused on for this year, which they put together with from the collaboration with the other students at DLD College. So they've sought their opinions and brought those together and into their strategy for the year. Of course, it's a very strange year with the pandemic affecting all of us. So now we're going to open the floor to our attendees, and so please do ask any questions that you might have. I know that we've received one question already asking about scholarships for A-level courses. There are scholarships available. We are undertaking scholarship assessments at the moment. So I do encourage you to speak with the admissions team as soon as possible to make sure you're in that pot of people who are hoping to achieve a scholarship for DLD College London. So if you want to follow tonight up with an email to the admissions team, I do encourage you to do that. There are scholarships for academic scholarships, and we've got a couple of Alpha Scholars on the Student Council, so that's a special scholarship that they can explain more about if you want to know more whilst we're live tonight. So I hope that answers your question so far. We also had a few pre-event queries when people registered for the event. One was, what is the school day like, a general school day? So I thought, because we've got a good mix tonight of day students and boarding students, I wondered whether maybe we hear from a day student first and then move to a boarding student. So who from the day student would like to answer? Do you want to put your hand up, and you can unmute yourself and answer? Hands up, somebody? Right, Shay, great, thank you.
So yeah, as said before, I am a day student, but honestly, when it comes down to it, there isn't a lot of difference to day and boarding, I would personally say. For me, it involves, obviously you're given a timetable and a register, but unlike most schools, DLD is one of those that you come for the lesson and registration, those are things. So if, for example, if your first lesson started at 10:25, you wouldn't need to come into school until 10:25. But honestly, one of the most major differences is because both boarding and day students mix in the same classes and the same lessons. And honestly, the most major difference for day students is at the end of the day, we go home, whereas the boarding students just go upstairs when it comes down to the heart of it.
And so boarding students, would you agree? Do you feel that your days like that, Charlotte?
Yes, I would agree with that. I think to go a bit more in depth, as a boarding student, if we are lucky enough not to have morning classes, we can register at 10:10, and if not 8:30. As a sixth form student, I luckily will only have max 4 classes a day because I'm taking 4 subjects. My lunch is at 12 o'clock in the refectory, and it's there that we go and have lunch. We also have access to the Grumpy Mule. And then at the end of the day, I most likely have an academic society, which are really encouraged depending on what subject you have, because it brings a lot of in-depth knowledge and it's good for your university application. Or I'll probably do my netball CCA as well.
I should just say that Grumpy Mule is our on-site cafe.
Yes, it is.
Sandwiches, treats, and hot and cold drinks, including a barista coffee bar. And CCA is our co-curricular activities, so we can explain more about that. We also had another question from somebody who wanted to know how the day and the boarding students mix. So again, Sarah, you're a day student. Maybe you can answer from your perspective as a day student, please.
Sure. So I was a boarder actually for 2 years, and then this year I switched to being a day student from being a boarder. So I can say that the support that we receive from the school is actually the same, and it's not quite very different. And the way we mix is that, well, basically we're classmates with each other, and we see each other all over the school from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If we come in the full timetable. And we see everyone from the boarding house to day students. I wouldn't say that there are any specific groups of only boarders or only day students. We always have a mix of all the different people and with different ethnicities, different nationalities, and it's very interesting for us.
One other question was, what is the common language?
English.
English.
Okay. English. And I think it's the preferred language actually, because, well, if there are people who are of different languages, then it's better if we all speak in English.
Okay, brilliant. So a question that's coming live now is, do we have extracurricular trips? So who on the student council has been on some extracurricular trips? Shay, okay. And Charlotte. Yeah. Sorry, Shay.
Yeah, well, obviously not much this year, but last year I do debating co-curricular activity as a co-curricular activity, and throughout that you'll go and visit other schools and other places where you'll debate their teams, which is a part of well, it's not so much a trip, but rather you will be leaving the school and you will be doing stuff outside of the school if you choose to do certain co-curricular activities, for me at least.
Thank you. Charlotte?
I think as well for me, I'm netball captain this year and I was in the netball team last year. Obviously not this year because of COVID, but we did manage about every other week to go out and go play netball games. And I know the football team as well, they go out and play lots of games against everybody else, and it's a really good team sport that gets us to come together. Also outside of that, within subjects, I also last year did a English trip to the Globe Theatre and a science one to King's College. So it's kind of a mix between the two, and the teachers really want you to get out there and experience things in real life instead of just learning about it in a textbook.
And you did the Duke of Edinburgh, didn't you, over October?
Yes. Yes, I also did my Gold DV this year. Usually we try to go to Wales, but obviously because of COVID, we had to do it closer to home. But it's really encouraged at DLD, and once again, it'll look great on UCAS application.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else got any experience of trips? Yeah?
I do, I definitely do.
We went together.
Yeah. So yeah, we as a film studies student, we've been out, we watched some films actually in the theatre and did the whole thing. And as a drama student, there's been a lot of drama trips to different plays since we are living in London, and there is the whole West End and the culture and everything. But obviously this year, because of COVID, we haven't had a lot of that. But there are loads of extracurricular trips, and it's absolutely amazing. Sophia?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say that last year for economics, we went on a few school trips to LSE lectures, which I found quite useful because we got to experience the subject outside of just the textbooks, and also at a really well-known university. So yeah, that was a fun experience as well.
Definitely.
Sorry, one more thing for me as well. In terms of, I'm a boarder as well, and in terms of, for example, boarding trips, when the whole COVID thing wasn't happening, we actually had a lot of those planned out. So every day it was a new thing. So, for example, me and Jay last year, we went to a laser tag game during the weekend, and Charlotte and I actually met at a Les Miserables performance, which was fate, I suppose, because then we both became heads. And yeah, it's honestly, there's a new thing every day, and this is everyone's allowed to participate, so both day students and boarders. While this is organized by the boarding community, it's open to everyone, open to day students. So yeah, it's honestly great. That's it from me.
Thank you. So for the boarders, whilst we're on the boarding weekends, what is a typical weekend for a boarder? So who's not spoken recently as a boarder? Would you like to answer?
So I could answer this.
Right.
So our typical weekends, like first of all, you get the opportunity to sleep in, and you can then sleep into 11. Then you have to do registration. Then normally there's a brunch at school which you can go to. So sleep in, take your time. But then under normal circumstances, I think if there would not COVID would not happen, you would just explore London. Like, I mean, which school can say that they're located in the heart of London and that you can just walk out of the door, see Buckingham Palace, see the London Eye? So I think what DLD students would really do on the weekends is just explore the city and just, I mean, enjoy it. And then, of course, also socialize in with the other boarders. So yeah.
Actually, in terms of the London Eye, I can also boast the view a bit because I'm sitting in the common room, one of our common rooms. This is an 09 common room. And if you don't mind, Rachel, I'm going to turn the lights and you can see our view. That is the Big Ben, and that's the London Eye.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry for this little interruption.
That's spectacular. Nice. Sophie, do you want to show us the common room as well?
Oh yeah, sure, of course. So this is again an 09 common room. This is an outside. It's on the outside layer of the building. And this is what it looks like. So this common room is particular because we have our own kitchen. So instead of having just a fridge, and the microwave, which both all the common rooms have, we also have a stove, and we also have really comfortable couches. But we're also provided with pots, pans, everything that we could need to cook. And during the weekend, Charlotte has a little group with her friends where they cook, and all of them cook deliciously. I still have to try her food though. So yes, this is the 09 common room.
Okay. That's brilliant. And there is a programme of activities at the weekend, isn't there? So there are films shown every night. There's PlayStations, so anybody who likes playing PlayStation can play that. Football is shown on the large screen quite regularly. What other activities do you have down in the atrium? It all seems busy. They're busy in there tonight. I can hear them all.
Down in the atrium, we usually have a foosball game, and that is the most competitive game of foosball that I have ever witnessed before I came to DLD. Everyone is so competitive on this. We also have badminton, ping pong. We also recently got a pool table, and we have an air hockey table. So even if you decide you don't want to go out in London for a night, we also have horror films, and we have late night movies, which usually aren't so scary just before you go to bed. But the in-house boarding is really a core aspect, and it's what you do usually from Monday to Friday. And so you go and have dinner, and you have a nice few things to do after school to really relax and feel like you're nice and part of a community. That is DLD boarding.
So somebody was asking, are you able to get a job, or do you not have time? Do you know anybody who has a job? Shay?
Yeah, I've got a job, but I'm a day student, so I mainly get it done on weekends, or I do it remotely from home.
Okay.
But I don't think I know any boarders who have a job, because it's quite difficult, especially with restrictions. I think, curfew and things like that. It will be quite difficult as a boarding student to get a job.
And I'd also like to mention the visas as well.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. We're encouraged to do internships during the summer, and the school supports you on that, but usually during school months we don't work, other than Shay, obviously.
Thank you. A couple of questions have come in just on the academic side. Do we have exams at entrance? No. We look at your previous exam results in your school report, but we do have an exam for the scholarship, and that would be in your preferred subjects. So again, talk to the admissions team and they'll be able to give you the full details. Then the other one was, what would you recommend to take for A-level relevant to filmmaking? Meha, was that you that said you were doing film studies? Yeah.
So I take film studies, obviously. So if you want to do filmmaking in the future, then I would suggest you take film studies or media studies. Those are the two that I know of, and those are very, very good because you get to make films. In media studies more. In film studies, you mainly analyze films, and then you also do make short films. But yeah, those two are probably the main things that you would take for filmmaking.
Thank you. And the Film and Media Club is very active, society is very active as well, isn't it? And you had Professor Dolan last week, was it? And from New York University.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there is also an academic society and CCAs, the Film Production Academic Society, so you can make films as a whole news presenting thing that goes on. So it's really, really amazing.
Excellent, thank you very much. So another question that Kate has come in this evening is, would the students recommend DLD to their friends and family? So I guess you might all have a lot to say about that. I'm going to go back to Benita because Benita's new to the school, and I think it's quite interesting to hear from a new student's point of view.
Yeah, so I came into DLD in September, so I've just started. I would recommend it to friends. It's really good. I especially enjoy the freedom that I have to just really control my own time, and I go to lessons when I have lessons. Obviously, I'm a day student as well, so I don't come in if I don't have lessons. I'm not really watched as much, and I really, really like that. I like that like I said, I've got the freedom to study and work around my own timetable. Yeah, so I definitely recommend it. I also really like that it's in the heart of London. Like we said, London is a lot of fun, and it's really really interesting. Like, yeah, it's really interesting. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Thank you very much. So another question that came in previously was, why did you choose DLD? I don't know, Sophie, do you want to answer that one? Sophie Barchetti?
Sorry, I didn't know which
I
Sophie
know,
was
it's
meant.
difficult. Sophie, sorry.
Yeah, we're too many at this school. That's the only problem at DLD, too many Sophies. So no,
Why did you
wait,
choose?
sorry.
Yeah. Why did you choose DLD?
Oh, why I chose DLD. So I think the main point why I chose DLD was its location. Like when I had, it's a really personal choice, like subjective thing now, but I just thought the idea of like being 16, 17 and having the opportunity to be in the center of London, and just also be in such a like emerged in such a diversity of culture and society and everything that was really appealing to me. So I guess that was one of my main reasons. But then of course because I especially come from an Italian system, and there you have 12 subjects. So making the change from the Italian Italian system, where you probably have a lot of subjects which you're not really interested in, and then you can go to the UK and you can choose your own subjects, and it's like the things that interest you, the things that maybe you also did outside of school, just like to have the choice to be like, okay, this is my interest, I want to do this, and I'm gonna like study this. That I think was like one of the main reasons why I applied to DLD.
Excellent.
So yeah, if someone can add something.
For me, it was also boarding. I visited quite a few other schools in London, and none of the boarding houses were nearly as nice and as spacious as the ones at DLD. And so I think that was a major factor that made me choose DLD, you know.
And Sophia, somebody's just asked if you're allowed to go into the centre if you have free time. Well, we've just seen how close to the centre of London we are. It's literally, we're on the South Bank, which is one of the most vibrant parts of London. But if you did want to go into Trafalgar Square or Leicester Square or Soho, Sophia, are you allowed to go over there?
Yeah, so surely you're allowed to go, and that's obviously like the house parents are very open about that, and they let us know that we can go to whatever area whenever, but we have to be back for lesson. And also it depends on the age of the students, because last year I was CSA and I hadn't turned 16 when I joined the school, and so I had to go in groups of 3. But I don't think that would be an issue, because it's really easy to make friends here, and I think that it's also just a good excuse to go out with a few of your friends. But once you turn 16, you're allowed to go alone, and you can explore all parts of London. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Another question that came in was, how do the teachers support you? Maybe Zara, you could answer that one.
Sure. I would say that we meet, of course, with our teachers on a daily basis, and we also have our personal tutors that are assigned to us at the beginning of the year. And you have 15-minute sessions with them every day as a group, where you sit down and you catch up with them. You tell them about your days, or what your academic life is like, any concerns you might have. Recently, I've been doing my application, so my tutor has been helping me to do my personal statement or my choices. There is also the director of studies, who every student is assigned to, and you can meet up with them as well to talk about your studies or your future plans, and they can help you with that as well.
Thank you so much. We've got a question in saying, could Sophie or somebody else show again the view from their boarding flat? So we've seen Sophie's view. Maybe Charlotte, do you want to show your view? Because Charlotte, you're actually in a room, aren't you? A boarding room at the moment.
So I'm fortunate enough to have a pretty spectacular view from my bedroom. Let me put the camera. So this is Big Ben here, and then I've got my other window shut right now, but that's London Eye there. And this is the view I get to wake up to every morning.
And that's literally 10 minutes walk across the river to Big Ben, isn't it? And Westminster Station. So that's.
I'd say less than that if we put it. Yeah. Also, he's ready to show more views.
If you give me a second, I'll run down to the other common room and I'll show you the view from there as well.
Excellent.
You can keep talking. I'll just be a second.
Whilst they do that, I'm going to ask people in turn what the best thing is about DLD from your point of view and from your experience. So, Benita, because you're new, let's start with you because you're fresh and.
So honestly, the best thing probably for me is either the support from the teachers or the freedom. Like I said already, the freedom to work whenever I want to work and to work around my own schedule. And another thing is, for me, being an Alpha Scholar, I have the Faraday Society that I do. So I really like that I have extra stuff that I'm pushed to do in school, like the EPQ, and I'm pushed to write articles for the Faraday blog on the website as well. So I really like that I've been given extra opportunities as well. So yeah, that's probably my favorite thing.
That's really good. And what are you aiming to do? What are you hoping to do for university?
I mentioned that, didn't I? Aeronautical engineering, maybe Cambridge or Oxford or.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Excellent. Shay, do you want to give us your best thing about DLD?
I think honestly the best thing about DLD was practically the people. I remember when I joined, I thought it was going to be really difficult making friends or getting to know anyone. But I do recall within my first day, I ended up making friends, which I'm still obviously with today. And yeah, honestly, it really is. Honestly, compared to any other school I've been to, the people you meet in DLD are just some of the best. You'll meet people from around the world. You'll learn new things you never thought you'd ever hear about, and you'd experience. You just get a broader opinion of the world, and it really does almost open your eyes a bit to the whole. I mean, I've lived in England my whole life, but going to an international school like DLD really opened my eyes to just quite how, like, really showed how big the world was. How that fact that we're all the same age, right? Well, we're relatively near the same age, but we all have such different life stories and different experiences. But it's good. But we're all still the same at the end of the day.
Brilliant. And I guess it's setting you up for the global world that you'll all be working in as well.
Definitely.
So, brilliant.
DLD is very akin to a university as an A-levels school, I've found. It's the closest school you could get to that's almost a university in the sense of the freedom you get and the people you'll meet.
Excellent. Thank you, Shay. Sophia, what do you think?
Me?
Yes. Yes.
Me, I don't think it's one specific thing. I think it's just the overall experience. Like the fun times that I've had at DLD, both academically and just in general in boarding, have been amazing.
Thank you.
And so I just say that the overall experience, yeah.
Brilliant. And Zara?
I would point out how it builds up your future, because when I joined here, my English wasn't very good, and I can see that it has helped me a lot, and it helps you get to where you want, and kind of makes your dreams come true.
Oh.
Your careers. Great.
Meha?
Well, kind of the fact that you get to make friends from all of these different cultures and diverse, like different countries, and you get to have these lifelong friendships and everything. It's really good, and obviously the education as well.
Thank you. And Sophie? Not Sophia, Sophie.
Well, I would say it's just, again, the experience to like live here and to meet all these different people, and just be able to, like, you know, come out from your little bubble from back home and emerge in this multicultural society.
Brilliant, thank you. So then I think I've done all of you apart from Charlotte and Sophie now. So I'm going to ask Charlotte and Sophie what their best bits are, and Sophie then will show you her view. So if you've got any final questions, because we'll finish after that, the boarders have got to have their dinner because it's getting late, and I'm sure they've all got lots of studying to do. So please do ask any final questions on the Q&A or chat before we go, whilst we hear from Charlotte and Sophie. So Charlotte.
I think one of my favourite parts, other than the location, is that I live 5,000 miles away most of my life. Most of my family is still back home, and yeah, I come to DLD for my second year in a row, and it feels like home. I come into my boarding room and I make it my own. I go downstairs and I have friends, almost like family now. I feel like I'm pushed to my full potential in what is really a great setting. The people that surround me push me, and my teachers ensure that I get the best in my education, and I'm also pushing myself to be the best person that I could be as a head girl, but also just as an individual person for later life.
Brilliant. A question has come in. Is it possible?
Yeah, I just
Yeah, sorry, Sophie, carry on.
I just saw the question and I feel like I can answer this.
Great.
So now, due to COVID, unfortunately, there are no dance classes, but last year I used to go regularly to dance classes in London. So I went to Pineapple, which offers a lot of jazz, but also contemporary and ballet, but also hip hop a lot. And then we have also a dance studio down the road, which is called Bass Studios, and they offer amazing classes. They, at the beginning of the school year, they were also still open, but unfortunately now everything is online. So you actually could also participate at online dance classes from those studios. And I know also that the Royal Opera House offers ballet classes. I went there a couple of times and it's amazing. So for dancers, there's enough opportunity here.
Right. Sophie, have you used the studio in the downstairs in Urban Est, you know, in the boarding accommodation?
Yes, there's a fitness studio and also a swimming. I feel like I should mention that there's a swimming pool and a sauna and a gym just right underneath us. I guess to have that kind of facility is also something noteworthy.
It is. It's an extra charge, and just for those over the age of 16, isn't it? But it is on site and it is available, and there's a great the gym's just been refurbished, and obviously like you said, they've got the swimming pool and a dance studio. So I think that's it for the cleaner wants to clean me out of the room. So Sophie, do you want to show everybody the view from that room, and then we'll say goodbye to everybody?
Yes. So there's a few people having dinner in the common room, but I asked them and they're absolutely fine with me showing a bit around. Hey guys, sorry. So this is how a standard common room looks like. And just to finish stuff off, I'm sorry, I'll have to turn off the lights. Sorry guys. Sorry. And yeah, this is the view from the internal rooms. Yeah.
You can see the
That
shards
blue,
there.
yeah, the blue
Yeah.
thing is the shard.
Yeah.
I think I saw a question that said, how many people live in a flat? So if you live in a normal flat, there's a corridor, and I think there's 12 rooms on each corridor. So you share that common room with 12 other people. And then if you're in an 09 flat, you share it with 9 other people. But you never have a problem with like not interacting. There's enough space for everybody. The important thing is to clean up, because you will get called out on if you are not cleaning up, and everyone knows who it is. But the common rooms are a great part of the boarding house, and it gives you a place to hang out with people on your floor on more of a personal level instead of downstairs in the atrium.
Because there are 19 common rooms, aren't there, over the 15 floors. So there's a wide choice of accommodation. We've actually made it a simpler choice for this new coming year. So there's a choice of a twin with ensuite, a single room ensuite, or a single premier ensuite. In the premier, you can select a preference of whether you want more space or whether you want an amazing view, but we can't guarantee because they're obviously in high demand. Somebody's asked if they can have contact Instagram, if they can contact you or Instagram you. I think it's probably with other questions. I don't think that would be possible. I think it would be better if you use the DLD boarding Instagram, because that's monitored by the house parents, and they will be able to ask the boarders and get them to answer your questions. Or again, go through Ben in admissions and he'll be able to answer the questions. But if you go through the DLD boarding Instagram, they're quite good at chatting with people. So use that, maybe, Umar, and that will help. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming tonight. Thank you again, School Council, for your time. We really appreciate it. Very grateful, and you've done a great evening. I hope that everybody found it useful and interesting. Thanks for joining us. And if you do want to join us on our sixth form open evening on Tuesday evening next week, don't hesitate to join up online or contact us and we'll add you to the list. So I'll end the evening now for everybody. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.